In this video, how to shoot video with the Nikon D3400.
It's not a great vlogging camera because the screen doesn't flip up and there's no mic input.
Switch to live view and press the red button to record. Yes, this works in any mode, including effects. That's cool. The screen shows the amount of time remaining. Pressing the red button changes the view. It crops in. Video records from a smaller area of the sensor, but that changes based on the frame rate settings. Stop, and it switches back out. Press the info button, and among the other screen views, one displays the image with a gray border. That's the actual video recording area, so it's useful to switch to this view for video. There is a second advantage. In this mode, pressing the I button will give you a video-specific menu. Movie options are the last item on the camera menu, and open a submenu. The best setting is Full HD at 60 frames, and even PAL frame rates 50 and 25 are supported. There are two quality settings, normal and high. Obviously, I recommend high, but spotting the difference here side by side may be less than obvious. Recommending a frame size is also easy, Full HD 1920 by 1080, and then it gets difficult because as well as the crop, there are other challenges hiding behind the scenes. I always prefer the highest data rate, which in this case is 36 megabits using the 60 frames. However, that's limited to 10 minutes per recording. Shift down to 30 frames, the recording time increases to 20 minutes, but data rate falls to 20 megabits. So that's a trade-off probably worth making, as the amount of data per frame is about the same. Incidentally, recording 30 frames at normal increases time per clip to 30 minutes, but reduces the data rate to 12 megabits. And while an SDHC Class 10 card is sufficient, I'd still recommend SDXCU3 type. Video is recorded in the easy-to-import .mov file type with an H.264 encoding. While we're here, turn manual movie settings on. And let me make a few movie recommendations. The aperture on the kit lens can't be adjusted in live view, so it needs to be set first. Nikon makes other lenses, E-series, that can be adjusted in live view. Press the EV button and turn the back dial. Open the iris for a defocused background or close it for a larger depth of field. Record video using S, shutter priority, or M, manual, but unless the movie manual setting is on, movie won't actually be manual. The back dial sets the shutter speed I shoot at 1/60th, which provides the right amount of motion blur to make movement look natural. Shutter speed is the only exposure setting that can be changed while recording. Use the ISO, set using the I menu, to finalize the exposure. Auto ISO can be useful if lighting is changing. It's available in S mode, but not in M. In bright scenes with a slow shutter and a large aperture, an ND filter, the kit has a 55mm diameter, is often needed to manage. In manual, the only way to judge the exposure other than by eye on the LCD, which is difficult in the sun, is with the meter. Press info until it appears at the bottom of the screen. I find it useful to switch to spot and expose for a face, as that's usually my most important subject. I worry more about white balance while shooting video than taking stills. It's much harder to correct in editing. Same procedure, first quit live view, point the camera at a white or middle gray object in the lighting conditions, press and hold the OK button until pre-flashes, press the shutter, the screen confirms the data has been acquired.
The color modes all work in video. Use it to create a black and white or a really vivid color look.
But you can't change while shooting. I prefer to shoot at neutral. Sometimes I turn the sharpening down for a slightly softer, more filmic look, particularly paired with 24 frames. Afterwards, if the color looks slightly dull, I can increase the saturation or make a slight mid-gray point adjustment in post. Effects also work in video. Some, like illustration, have a slow frame rate. Miniature creates speeded up movies. Live View's focus options are used for shooting video. Press the I to select Autofocus Single. The camera focuses when the shutter is soft pressed, servo or continuous, and manual. 4 focus area modes: wide, normal for exact focus on a smaller object, and subject tracking. Position the rectangle and press OK to track an object. For people, probably best to use face priority. With manual focus, the magnify button provides an expanded view to check focus. It can only be used before recording starts.
Audio isn't terrific for anything except background audio or ambience.
There's no audio in connector, no level control. If you're serious about sound, better add an external mic and recorder. The kit lens is a VR lens, which has optical stabilization. Nikon stabilization, which is designed for stills, is reduced when shooting video. On the camera menu, the Optical VR can be turned off. The hand screen left indicates stabilization is on. In low light, use 30 frames and reduce the shutter to 1/30. This is ISO 6400 with the light from a single candle. This is 25.6 in the dark. This is the night vision effect. One issue to be aware of is rolling shutter, which causes objects to bend when panning left and right. The D3400 is no more susceptible than other cameras in its class, so just keep pans to a minimum or the pan speed slow. I've made several videos to help you master the D3400. They're listed in the description below. Thanks for watching. Please use the comments area below to ask questions. I do reply to all civil and relevant comments.